All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Rocky Top Insider postgame show. This is Ryan Schumpert. I'm Rick Butler here on the field at Davis Wade Stadium. An overtime thriller brought Tennessee a 41-34 win. Vols pick up their first win of the SEC slate. Ryan, this game, I feel like I lived a whole lifetime in the middle of the four quarters and overtime. What are you thinking about as we sit here after the game, after the press conferences, kind of winding down from things?
I think you said it best. It felt like an absolutely crazy back and forth game, but to me, it's Tennessee's defense. Tennessee, I thought they were going to have to win this game with offense, and certainly you look at the final score, 41 points, you might think they did, but it was Tennessee's defense who overcame a lot. 2 defensive touchdowns, a Colton Hood pick six, a Tyree West strip sack with a Josh Joseph scoop and scored. It was maybe the biggest play of the game when you consider it was right after Mississippi State converted a fake punt up by 4 in the fourth quarter, so they had all the momentum. And then you look at, you say, all right, well, they gave up 34 points. They couldn't have been that great. 3 of Mississippi State's 4 touchdown drives started within Tennessee's 30-yard line.
Right.
Tennessee played a lot of bad. Tennessee put a blueprint together of how to lose a game on the road as a more talented football team. But their defense, stepped up and made some huge plays. They weren't perfect, and they found a way to get a win.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And you can point to some of those times where, mishaps or turnovers put Mississippi State in a position to score. And Mississippi State's a good football team. They can score the ball when you give them that sort of opportunity to do so, and they did so other times in the game. But I thought that Tennessee's defense, they stepped up, and sure, there might have been some issues with run defense and things along that line, and we'll get to that here soon, or at least throughout next week as we break down this game leading into the bye week. But you're right, there was one point where after Joey Aguilar's touchdown at the end of regulation, or near the end, I left the press box to come to make the long journey all the way down here. Mississippi State was having the ball, and I fully expected to get down here and see the Bulldogs still potentially on offense. Tennessee's defense had flipped it, and Tennessee's offense was now back on the field. I think you give a lot of credit to what the Vols defense were able to do, and look, they played a lot of football today.
Yeah.
They were gassed going into that overtime, and I know obviously State was as well, but just really give them a lot of credit for being able to step up, put their foot in the ground, and make that last stand at the end.
Yeah, I think that's a good point about how much you're on the field, because think about it. 2 defensive touchdowns, that's back-to-back possessions where you're on the field. A muff punt of another possession that you're on the field, the Tennessee muff. So Tennessee defense was out there a ton. And yeah, I mean, there were some bad run fits. They gave up more in the run game than they would have liked to. I thought the pass defense, outside of maybe 2 busted coverages, was pretty good all game. The pass rush was certainly exceptional. 5 sacks in this one. And you said it, I mean, Mississippi State gets the ball back 3 timeouts, and I guess 1:45 to play or so. 3 straight incompletions gave Tennessee a chance to win, which I guess we should get to that. Some terrible clock management from Josh Heupel. Yeah,
go ahead, and you kind of wrote about it afterwards, about the game, what he said, but what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I think to me, this Tennessee ran the ball for 2 or 3 yards on first down and then didn't take a timeout. To me, that on itself wasn't crazy. You see that a lot. You want to run some clock to avoid what Mississippi State had just done, where they threw 3 straight incompletions and gave Tennessee a chance to win. Now, Tennessee did go pretty slow there. I don't know exactly in my head, but they didn't snap the ball until there were like 4 or 5 seconds on the play clock, so they ran more time than you would like. To me, the inexcusable one. I mean, Tennessee runs for a first down. There was 18 seconds left. They had 3rd and 1 at the Mississippi State 49-yard line. They ran for 5 yards to get to the 44-yard line. There were 13 seconds on the clock. They had 2 timeouts. They didn't take a timeout. They ran another play. Now, granted, Josh Heupel said we had a play ready, and he kind of said 2 things. He said, I probably should have taken a timeout, but Joey Aguilar shouldn't have held onto the ball that long. Needless to say, Tennessee got the ball back with, I think, 1:26 on the clock, maybe 1:23. They had 3 timeouts, and they ended the game not in field goal range when the clock ran out, and 2 timeouts in their pockets. That was really bad clock management. Josh Heupel's got to play some Madden, or they got to get somebody in his headset that's telling him to take a timeout, because there was no, I don't care if you have a second play ready, there was no benefit to not taking a timeout there after that Deshaun Bishop run for a first down.
Got to practice with the EA college football sticks. Maybe they can play you on the Twitch.
That's what I said. Brian Callahan, Titans coach, should have been all week just playing Madden, not coaching the team. I don't know if it's a bye week, so maybe Josh Heupel, at least next weekend, that's what he should be doing.
Maybe he does hit the sticks. He's got a son. Maybe they're in age. They can play against each other.
Exactly right.
And maybe even recreate this game. Again, like Ryan mentioned, a lot of good points there. Learning opportunities, and I think for Tennessee, you want to make sure that these learning moments are being taken into consideration, and that you can grow from them. Joey Aguilar, you mentioned him a second ago, unless you had anything else there.
No, that's it there.
Joey Aguilar, you mentioned him a second ago. I don't know if one of the question marks going into the game, but certainly one of the talking points. Just, hey, first true SEC road game. This was a pretty crazy environment. I think some of Tennessee's players said it wasn't maybe the noise that got to us. It was just annoying throughout the games at times. And I thought he handled himself well. Obviously, some interceptions, and one of them, or maybe two, I can't remember at this exact moment, but goes off the fingertips of Miles Kitselman. But I thought the poise and the leadership and the maturity that he showed at the end of the game to kind of help Tennessee get back in that spot, obviously lowering his shoulder and being able to get into the end zone to close down regulation with the tying touchdown. What did you think of just the way that he operated and performed throughout the game?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Tennessee has talked a lot about Josh Schumpert talked a lot about the way he responds to adversity, and he did a really good job of that. Both those interceptions, I don't know if the first one, maybe comes in a little hot. Kitselman should make the catch. The second one, a little bit unlucky. I don't know if it was necessarily Kitselman's fault as much. I would like to see a replay of that, to be honest with you, because I haven't seen it. Did look like Kitselman maybe got grabbed a little bit early on that play too. So, yeah, and that last drive in regulation, man, there were some big-time throws. Fourth down, Chris Brazel, which was a good catch over the middle, climbing the pocket with pressure in his face to Mike Matthews for 17 yards. Again, Tennessee's offensive line has been good this year. They bust on 3rd and 6 down there at the goal line. A rusher comes right through. Aguilar scrambles, makes a nice pass to Braylon Staley. And I will say to Braylon Staley's credit, it was a rough day for him, probably the worst game of his young career. He makes a big catch there and then gets upfield to get the first down, and then you said it, the touchdown run to tie it up. So Aguilar, it wasn't perfect. Tennessee's offense I did not think was as good as I expected in this game, but Aguilar's pretty good, especially when you consider drop Mike Matthews long touchdown, Mickey Mouse offensive pass interference on Chris Brazel on touchdown. Those two plays get made, or Brazel made the play. There's no flag, and Mike Matthews catches a perfect ball. He ends up with 400 yards and 4 touchdowns or something like that when you consider the rushing touchdown. So again, I think it speaks to how good Joey Aguilar has been for Tennessee this year. That it didn't necessarily feel like he played great today, and he still put together the performance that he did. Yeah,
no doubt about it. I think you can take a lot of positives away from what he did, and a lot more. I'm trying to think maybe just of other things. Deshaun Bishop, right?
Yeah, big run
Tennessee
late.
Doesn't have that long of a run, I believe, all game leading into overtime. Maybe the high was 11 yards, something like that. Deshaun Bishop punches it in for the game's longest touchdown, at least on the Tennessee side. Rushing touchdown speaks a lot to just kind of the patience that he showed throughout the game. What else are you kind of thinking of?
There's so much, and we'll hit more in the podcast, but I will go there. Tennessee did not run the ball as well as I thought. Mississippi State ran the ball better than I thought.
That was a big one.
Tennessee credit. I felt like in the middle of the game they kind of got away from the run too much. They stuck with it late. They had some good runs late on that touchdown drive. Certainly the Bishop one late. And Tennessee 3 runs tonight over 10 yards. Would not have believed that. 2 of 11 yards, and then a 25-yarder from Deshaun Bishop proved to be the winner.
No doubt about it. This was a big one, and of course, we're going to continue breaking this down, as Ryan mentioned a second ago, over on the RTI Press Pass. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can just head over there and find our show, as we will also bring Ryan Sylvie into the fold. Maybe even this is a big enough one where the 3 of us talk about it, but we'll see. Recording this one, obviously, before. Ryan, again, this was a crazy game. Throughout a lot of points in this game, I was kind of thinking about what we were going to say and having to lead with some of the negatives and a potential loss, but give Tennessee a lot of credit for their ability to kind of hang in the game. Look, there's no such thing as a bad road win. In a big-time atmosphere like this was obviously a huge game for Mississippi State, and what they wanted to do for Tennessee to outlast the Bulldogs in front of their fans, being able to feed off that momentum. You give Tennessee a lot of credit, and they lived to, I don't want to say live to fight another day. Obviously, they've got so much more ahead of them besides just another day, but being able to kind of move into the bye week, move into the rest of the season without that coveted second loss this early on, I think that obviously sets up Tennessee to kind of
stay alive in playoff
pick
fight.
Things back up and stay alive.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good point. I wrote about it this weekend, and I'm blanking on the number exactly. I think it was Tennessee was 7-4 as road favorites under Josh Heupel outright, 7-4 against the spread. So, in general, meaning when those games were tight, Tennessee did not find a way to win them. That was a difference tonight compared to the last couple of years. So that's undoubtedly huge, and Tennessee's playoff hopes would have been very, very grim with a loss tonight. Now, they're still alive, and they got one more loss that they can afford. As they got 6 more in SEC play, and New Mexico State in there as well.
A bye week coming up this Saturday, so it gives you and I a little bit of time to relax and maybe watch some college football instead of covering it. That'll be nice. But plenty more to break down from this game. Again, an overtime thriller, a 41-34 win for Tennessee right here in Davis-Wade Stadium. This is Ryan Schumpert. You can follow him at rshump00. I'm Rick Butler. You can follow me at Rick_Butler. Make sure you're checking out RockyTopInsider.com, RockyTopInsider on all the socials, and of course YouTube where you're watching this right now. And hey, don't forget to check out our good friends over at WATE as well. For Ryan Schumpert, I'm Rick Butler. It's been the Rocky Top Insider Instant Reaction.